Tell us a little bit about Breathe.
Breathe.
Yeah.
Breathe is a show based on the blog post by the amazing Jackson Biko, bikozulu.co.ke. So it's a show that brings together different stories, because what he does, he goes out and interviews real people who've been through real some word almost, so out of about.
What?
Yeah,
family show.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So
Yes.
Watershed.
Yeah.
all that together.
Please compose yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so Breathe is about life. Breathe is about life challenges and overcoming. It's about hope, really. Because you find that in all the stories that we are going to tell, it doesn't matter how happy or how sad you might think it is, but there's always that silver lining, there's always that thread of hope running through each story.
All right. Now, Becky, you said you are the creator of the show, right?
Yes.
Does this mean you had to come up with additional stuff to put into what he already wrote, or did you just take what he wrote and went with it?
Absolutely not. We have tried. We think, and I felt the first time I thought this should be put on stage, because I love Biko. Been reading him for years, and I thought, oh, this can work. And then somehow I meet the current gentleman who's directing this play, Gilbert, on a totally different production, and he says, I'd like to do Biko Zulu's monologues. I've even had a conversation with him back in the day. And I told him, if you don't produce this, I'm gonna do this. And he said, okay, I wanna be involved in any way. So the first thing we thought is, his writing, just, when you read Biko's works, it speaks to you beautifully. Now, going to decide to add other things and Madogodanios, it is diluting what this good gentleman has written. Yeah, so we felt it would be, and then again, he has a lot of fans that's the reason, because he writes so authentically and beautifully. That's why he has such a big fan. Now, ukikuja hapo uanze kuweka askari yako, it becomes a bit difficult. However, having said that, artistically, he's given us the artistic liberty to interpret it artistically the way tunataka ikuwe staged.
That's what I meant. I didn't mean, did you bring your own stuff? I meant, did you actually alter it, tweak it a bit, just to make it your own?
Absolutely. He himself does not understand how his words can be put on stage.
All right, got it.
But you see, that's where we come in. That's where we come in with the beautiful directors and beautiful actors to actually, let me quote one of our common phrases, to breathe theater life into his words.
Right. All right, Martin, did you take part in the creating of this, in the, the first phases before it actually becomes something that people can actually act out?
Yes, it is heavily a collaborative effort. We had to sit down first to decide which stories are we going to do, because he has a myriad of stories that range from different topics here and there. But at least one thing that we settled on that can be thematic, because this is October, which is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So some of the stories that we are going to touch on are going to be cancer-related stories, which most of these stories, if not all, are stories of hope, as it's been mentioned. And then we sat down, looked at which stories exactly to do. If it's cancer stories, which ones? We have some very high energy stories. We have some very depressing stories, because they're still stories at the end of the day. And because they're Kenyan stories, most of the stories are based on true individuals who hopefully we might have some of them come join us and watch the show.
So before, sorry to cut you short, before you embarked on this, did you actually maybe meet a few of these people, or it's entirely based on,
First,
you didn't meet them?
we started with Biko Zulu stories.
Okay,
we take his stories, see which story we can perform on stage, because as she also mentioned, he did not write them for performing on stage. He wrote them to tell the story. So we come in and then we decide, does this story look stage presentable? Yes, it does. If it doesn't, how can we make it so?
That way?
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
So to also answer your question, we did not consult these people, because they were not telling us the story. They told Biko, who put it down beautifully. However, some of them that their stories we are featuring would love to see them come on stage, come to watch and see how their stories is narrated again, not just on paper but also on stage.
Oh, okay.
And we've gone out of our way to just reach out and say karibuni sana. Yeah, karibuni sana.
Have they responded positively?
Yes, they have. Some of them have, not all, but we still have a week for them to jipanga and show up.